a very nuanced video today. I'm like in a very nuanced mood. Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk all about how to glow from the inside out. And today I have another installment of viral K-beauty products I don't recommend and what I do recommend instead. Y'all loved the first version of this video, so I have a fresh batch of viral K-beauty products that I just don't get the hype on, and I got some grievances I need to air about these products. If you're so ready, give the video a big thumbs up and let's get started. Let's talk about the Medicube Collagen Wrapping Mask. And first and foremost, I will say, I don't think this is a bad product, okay? This is just one of those products where I used it and I was like, all right, okay. I don't get it though. Like, it's not bad, but I don't understand the hype. And that's why it's making it into this video. So if you use this product, if you like this product, keep using it, keep loving it. Don't at me in the comments because I'm not calling this a bad product. But what I want to talk about with this product in particular is why is it so hype though? In the last video, when I talked about the Dr. Althea Grinding Cleansing Balm, I did point out that a lot of these viral products usually have something unique about them, whether it's the packaging, whether it's the way that they like deliver the product. In the case of that cleansing balm, you twist it up and it grinds out the cleansing balm, right? That's very different. Or there is something in like the skin-tertainment value of the product that looks really cool and eye-catching in content. This mask, it's not like those collagen hydrogel masks that you sleep in. That is so 2024. Okay, let's keep that in the past. This is a new way to do a collagen night mask, right? This is something that you put onto your face at the end of your skincare routine about 15 minutes before you go to bed. You sleep in this collagen wrapping mask, and in the morning you what? You peel it off, hopefully in one like continuous layer, because you know how satisfying that is, right? Think about this in content. When you peel this off and you have this reveal, right? This is eye-catching. This is different. This is why this is so hype. This is why you're hearing about this all the time. It's because of the skin-tertainment value of this, right? It's fun. It's different, right? It brings a little bit of joy into your life. And I'm not saying that that's wrong, but I'm saying be critical of this when you're looking at these viral products, because often there's an element of this, right? This unexpected, this different, this unique that looks cool in content, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna be a holy grail product for you. It might just be a fun product for you. But let's break it down though, because as I said, I don't think this is a bad product. This isn't something that like burned my skin or like, you know, gave me acne or broke me out or anything like that. It's just kind of a meh for me. This actually is just more of like an occlusive slugging type of product. It just creates this this film, right? Because it's something you're gonna peel off in the morning. So it actually just kind of creates this film over the rest of your skincare routine. So first and foremost, you must use this with other skincare products. If you don't put a hydrating toner or an essence serum, whatever, underneath it, it's not going to work because it's not really delivering the ingredients deep into the skin. It's really just creating a barrier and a layer on top of your skin that helps all the stuff you put on underneath work better for your skin and protect your skin while you're sleeping. So you're not going to achieve those glass skin results unless you put glass skin types of products underneath it. And that's so important to understand. And so the reason why I said I got meh results with this is that I already have a really good skincare routine for hydrating, plumping, sealing, fighting dehydration. You see all the toners and the essences and the serums and the creams and the oils and all of that I layer onto my skin. So I often am already like her flip. I'm already waking up to very good skin in the morning because I work so hard at it with the rest of my skincare products. I do think that it works as a good occlusive layer though. So let me put that one out there because this is a bit of more of a nuanced review. So you may be surprised to hear me say like, you know, this can be very beneficial for some folks because, you know, some people don't want to use sleeping packs because sometimes they actually do have a sticky quality to them. They never quite dry down or quite fully absorb into your skin. And so your cheeks are kind of like creating a little bit of a mess on your pillow if you're a side sleeper or stomach stomach sleeper, like it's absorbing into your pillow is sticking to your face, your hair is sticking to your face. Some people have sensory issues where that's just like a no-go, right? So the fact that this dries on your skin, right? And it creates that layer on your skin that is dry to the touch and nothing is sticking. That is definitely a selling point of this mask. I'm not going to ignore that. That is definitely beneficial. Now, there are some claims around this mask that it actually helps with acne. This one is, we're treading into interesting waters here with that claim, because there's nothing about this mask formulation wise that is going to treat acne, right? There are no ingredients in here, and just the way that it sits on top of your skin and doesn't absorb into your skin, it can't treat acne. But I think a lot of folks are noticing a decrease in their bacterial acne because you're creating a barrier between your skin and the pillow. So oftentimes this can be remedied by washing your pillow a little bit more frequently, changing out your towels more frequently, right? But this could be something that does help if you have that very specific type of acne that is getting worse because of bacterial transfer and things like that from a pillowcase. So that could be part of it, right? It may also be part of like the reason why people are getting more glass skin results is because, again, it's an occlusive that's fighting dehydration. Talking about the pillow contact, if you feel like a lot of your skincare is actually absorbing into your pillow because you're a side or stomach sleeper and you wake up and especially like cheeks are feeling a lot more dry, this could help because it's not an occlusive that's going to wipe off of your skin. So I did want to mention that the uniqueness of the peeling, it's not just for skin entertainment, but it actually can offer value to you. But I guess I'm just confused about why so many people are claiming it to be this amazing holy grail type of product when it's just a barrier on your skin. It's not offering anything into your skin. The collagen claims in here, the collagen extract, very low on the ingredients list here. And again, because it is a film that sits on top of your skin, a protective film, truly, it's not absorbing into your skin. And we already know collagen to be a huge molecule as it is. You're not really getting any of the benefits of collagen, right? This is just a marketing cool name. But it's really about that film that this is creating on the skin. So the collagen claims out the window. Is not going to help you with well aging. I just think that it's really beneficial for the barrier, and it's a nice sort of like alternative to a traditional sleeping mask. And so I feel that a lot of the reviews around this product, I'm not saying that they're fake. That's not what I'm trying to say. I just think that they're a little overly excited. And that could be just due to, people who haven't built out that type of skincare routine where this actually does make the difference. It could be due to extensive and very pervasive gifting campaigns, as we talked about in the last video. This brand in particular is one of the worst offenders of that, I will admit. And I will say I actually have multiple bottles of this that was sent to me by the brand. But they do have a very aggressive gifting campaign. And often with those gifting campaigns, particularly with the TikTok skinfluencers, there is a product in exchange for a piece of content. And often we will see a lot of the marketing claims will start to come out of their mouths because they're actually following a brief, right, for in exchange for that product. They're not necessarily being paid, so they don't have to disclose ad because it's technically not a paid sponsorship ad, but they did receive a product in exchange for a piece of content. And I think that will always kind of skew your review. I speak freely. I'm telling you, I was gifted this, but it was gifted to me without strings. So I just speak very freely, about that. And I'm not worried about that because beyond them just sending me something, which is very nice, and I'm incredibly grateful, like, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it helps me do my job, but it's important. It's easier for me to be honest because I'm not like submitting a piece of content to a brand for like approval. Do you know what I'm saying? Right? Like, I'm not worried about that. And so I think that is something that colors a lot of this hype and a lot of these reviews and a lot of this very compelling content. You know what I mean? These content creators work really hard on this content, but at the end of the day, there can be a little bit of that strings and the relationship with the gifting and stuff that influences how people talk about products. So at the end of the day, I just kind of wanted to break some of the hype illusion around the Medicube collagen wrapping mask. Like, it's a fine product, but I don't know that it's like a mind-blowing product like a lot of the reviews and content would have you believe. So if you're looking for an alternative to the collagen wrapping mask, I will say there isn't anything quite like this if you are very adverse to the stickiness of sleeping masks or the heaviness of petrolatum. So if that is one of your big concerns for a nighttime sleeping mask, the Medicube, I'm going to break my video title. I would recommend it for those very specific types of people with those types of sensory concerns. But if you're not that and you're just looking for a really good sleeping mask, I actually really like the Abib Rice Probiotics Overnight Sleeping Mask. This has this really gorgeous jelly texture that I absolutely adore. It is like this pure gel. It's incredibly refreshing, cooling, and very hydrating for the skin. And this is just more where preferences come in. And like I said, this is a nuanced review. Sometimes I gotta deliver up the nuance, right? For me personally, if I'm gonna put another layer onto my skin before I go to bed, I want it to be actually delivering something into my skin. I'm not just looking for a layer on the outside. And so that's what I love about this, because it infuses your skin with so much hydration. It really plumps it up, smooths it out. I do suffer with dehydration, and so I do like another extra layer of a little something something to keep that skin nice and plump and smooth while I'm sleeping. And it has this, like I said, a really refreshing texture. It feels amazing in the summer months when it's so hot and it's so humid. Just that little extra jelly, ooh, feels so good. You could even keep this in the fridge if you wanted to for that like shot of cooling, maybe like right after a shower too. Feels so good. Love, love, love. Let's talk about the Tirtir Milk Skin Toner, because, this is another brand with a lot of money behind the marketing, a lot of money to get their name and their products in front of you through content. Tirtir, this is a brand that was started by a Korean influencer, and they're best known for their makeup products, first and foremost, especially their cushion foundations. I will lay out a bias that I personally have, especially as a skincare, enthusiast, right? When brands are better known for makeup, and then they start, like diversifying and creating skincare products, I'm usually highly skeptical of that, especially if somebody's better known for makeup. I kind of feel like stay in your lane. As skincare has blown up in the last 5-6 years now, and there is so much money to be made in this market, right? I do feel like a lot of it is just cash grabs. Quite honestly, a lot of the makeup brands that start doing skincare products, their products are just meh, right? They're okay. They just do what you do best, right? You know what I mean? Like, stick to your zone of genius. But I will say I really don't like this toner, and it definitely gained a lot of interest and popularity. I would say, it's probably dying down now, but definitely about a year ago, it was at like the height of its hype, if you will. And I will also say that there has been a big explosion of milk toners in K-beauty over the last few years as well. So let's dive into the ingredients. They are really focusing in on the chamomile extract that they're using in the formula. So this actually does have soothing and anti-inflammatory properties for the skin, but it is, definitely an extract that can cause some sensitivity issues for certain folks with very sensitive skin. So I like to point that one out too. But chamomile, pretty well known for helping to soothe the skin. They're also using rice bran extract. Now, rice, definitely very popular in K-beauty. It can really lightly moisturize the skin, but it's also something that smooths the skin, brightens the skin, brings a lot of antioxidant care as well. Now we've got niacinamide, another brightener in here. We've got sodium hyaluronate that helps to bring hydration. And then we have ceramide NP, which I feel like everybody's throwing a little ceramide NP into their products because everybody knows ceramides are so good for your skin and for your skin barrier. Now, this toner is also using witch hazel extract. Now, this is an interesting one, and this is such a iffy kind of ingredient in skincare. Now, I know that there's a lot of fear mongering around witch hazel, like it's going to destroy your skin barrier and it's going to strip your skin of hydration and of moisture because it's all alcohol based and it's terrible for your skin. I don't really love the fear mongering, when it comes to skincare ingredients. I'm all about that sensitive skin journey, right? And so I do like to point these things out as maybe potentially it could be an issue for some folks. is a very nuanced video today. I'm like in a very nuanced mood today, but I like to point that one out because, you know, if I'm like, oh, witch hazel bad, somebody would be like, well, it's not really bad. It's sometimes, I'm like, I know, but nuance is hard to communicate sometimes in these videos, especially if you want to keep it under 20 minutes. You know, witch hazel, it's a mixed bag. It could be distilled in alcohol, therefore causing some inflammation and dehydration in sensitive folks, right? It could cause issues over a long period of time if you're sensitive to those types of ingredients, big if there, right? But it could also just be distilled in water. It still has astringent properties to it. And so it could or could not pose issues. Not a red flag, it's like a beige flag. But for sensitive skin folks, there's actually more beyond just the beige flag of the witch hazel. We do have what I would just, you know, label as straight up red flags. Again, for folks with very sensitive skin and you're particularly sensitive to perfume, our fragrant extracts, we've got star anise extract, peppermint leaf extract in here, and olive leaf extract. These are all fragrant extracts. And they are helping to create a much more pleasant scent in the toner without the explicit use of the word fragrance, right? Or of essential oils. The texture itself, it's really interesting because it's a very milky, runny type of toner. It actually feels like a hydrating essence, honestly, on the skin. But as it absorbs, you start to feel so much more emolliency in your skin. It's so interesting. It starts light, but as it absorbs, it becomes much thicker and much more moisturizing. Like it fills your skin with moisture. And it's deceiving, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, it starts thin and then it starts to thicken up like right underneath your fingers as you're applying this. And I do feel that like once it absorbs onto your skin, it actually does feel a little bit heavier and a little bit greasier. So I would actually classify this, it starts thin and like essence-like, but I would actually classify this more medium weight once it dries. Like it actually transforms under your skin. And I found personally kind of an unpleasant way, honestly. It just felt thick and a little greasy on my skin. And you know, I love a lot of moisture, but there was just something about this that just did not feel great. It felt okay, but it didn't feel great on my skin. And that's not the reason why it made this video. The reason why it made this video is it actually ended up irritating my skin as I was using this long term because I was really giving it a good testing period because I was like, I just don't really love the texture, but like, it's okay. It's okay. But then I started to feel more irritation, more redness, a little bit more inflammation in my skin. The ingredients in here did not agree with my skin. It didn't happen immediately. It didn't like burn on contact. It was like after a week and a half, 2 weeks of using this, I was like, my skin actually just does not feel good anymore. It's feeling very raw and sensitive. If you're in the same boat as me, you do like moisture, you do like these milky types of toners, but you want it without fragrance and without, you know, the runaround of these fragrant ingredients and stuff, and you just want to sidestep things like witch hazel. You know, I would really recommend the Isntree Yam Root Milk Toner. This is so good. It's very nourishing, very milky, very comforting, but I don't find it greasy. You know, you can offer a lot of moisture and a lot of comfort and nourishment to your skin without it feeling like it's sitting on top of your skin, without it feeling heavy and weighed down. So this does that beautifully. It has that really milky, watery type of texture. It's not a thick texture, and it absorbs in really beautifully. It just doesn't get greasy under your fingers. It just doesn't feel incredibly heavy, but it does actually really soothe the skin. It really softens any dryness on your skin. Let's talk about VT Reedle Shot Lip Plumper. Talk about my lips were on fire. I don't like this at all. OMG, y'all. This was painful. Wow. Okay, so let's talk about it, right? Because, you know, let's talk about Reedles first and foremost, because you know that like this has absolutely taken off with massive popularity. These are little spicules. They are meant to mimic the effects of microneedling, right? Where you manually puncture holes in your face with needles. Oh my gosh, that sounds so scary. That's what it is, right? Physical pathways within the skin. You're creating punctures in the skin with little micro needles. And then anything that you put on top of your skin, your skincare routine, right, is going to absorb deeper because you've opened up pathways with the needles. And that's the idea with Reedle. It's spicules. So it's not actual straight up needles, but these are little spicules that are made up of centella that are meant to penetrate into the skin. So when you use any type of Reedle product, usually you feel these prickly sensations. So I'm not against Reedles. I'm like on the fence about them. Some of the Reedle stuff I like. Some of it I think is just not the best for sensitive skin. And some of it I just think is just too much, too many Reedles. Too many Reedles. And that's where this product lies for me, this lip plumper. The brand did send it to me, just, you know, full disclosure here. And I do have a relationship with Tirtir. I have actually done sponsored content with them before, but that's not stopping me from telling you my truth about the lip product. So I was like, okay, it's probably just like a really nice gloss, right? And I like a little bit of plumpness. I like a little bit of like shine to my lips, right? It's just this clear gloss. It does contain Reedles, the spicules, as I talked about. And it also contains volufiline, which is an ingredient that can help to plump up your skin, right? And can help tint out fine lines and wrinkles. I was like, okay, whatever, like let's do it. Let's get Angelina Jolie lips, right? And so I knew it was going to have a tingle because Reedles, you know, they prickle, they tingle, right? I knew it was going to do that. I've used lip plumping lip glosses in the past. I'm a child of the, you know, of the 2000s, you know what I'm saying? Like we had all of those lip glosses back then that gave you that like minty, stingy kind of feel, right? So I was like, I knew what I was getting into, but I had no idea what I was getting into. So I put it on my lips and they immediately are, it's not stinging, right? It's not tingling. It's not that Reedle like roughness, right? If you've used Reedles, you know what I'm talking about, like that prickly roughness. It was burning. It was burning. My entire lips went on fire, like on contact with this lip gloss. And I was like, no, 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 no. My skin was hot, fire, spice, like ouch, ouch, ouch. It hurt so bad.
Not a huge difference to my lips, quite honestly. Like I said, they look a little puffy and they do appear a little bit more pink, but I don't really see a huge plumping effect that makes the pain worth the gain.
I also will say, as I said, I have sensitive skin. One of my main areas where I'm getting eczema is actually my lips. So I was playing with fire. So sometimes I can't help myself. You know what I mean? It's like, you got to put your hand over the burner a little bit. But anyways, I got really freaked out. Like I was going to get an eczema flare up from it. If I continued to use it, I probably would, but just my actual skin was on fire. And I started looking at the reviews of this, and there's a lot of people who are saying it's like unbearably burning. Like it hurts so, so bad. And other folks were like, it hurts, but it's worth it, right? But generally speaking, the reviews on this that I've seen, even the people who are claiming that they love it, their lips look so red and so inflamed, and not like in a cute Angelina Jolie puffy plumping kind of way, right? But like in an actual like, are you getting eczema? What's the alternative that I would recommend? And it's kind of like literally anything else, anything that doesn't hurt. But you know, I will say this isn't quite in the same vein, but I really like the Fwee 3D volumizing gloss. I am wearing it today, and I wear it in almost all of my videos since like, when did I buy this? Like December or November of last year. And I wear it in almost all of my videos because it just gives me exactly what I want. There's a little bit of color, you know, behind it, a little bit of opacity. I like a little color to my gloss. I like clear glosses too, but I do like a bit of color. So this provides what I want without, you know, burning the skin underneath in order to get a reddening response from my lips. So bad. But there's a little bit of color to it, a really nice amount of shine. It's very long lasting. It definitely does give more volume, you know, to your lips because of the way that it catches the light. It definitely does create more of a plump look without like inducing the inflammation in your lips from the plumping ingredients, right? And then of course, if you want to like pair that in with like a nice little lip pencil, you can get even more definition. So it's a little bit different because, you know, I will say if you're really looking for some lip care, Maybe you could be getting that from the VT, but honestly, I think the way that it stings your lips and everything like that. And I will also say, you know, a lot of the folks in the reviews are saying it's so great and whatever, but it doesn't even last. You know what I mean? The plumpness, it's like an hour and then it goes down. So you don't even get that look for the whole day. It feels gimmicky. It just feels gimmicky. So I hope you enjoyed that installment of viral K-beauty products I do not recommend and I do not like. I am curious, are there some viral products that you've been burned by? Let me know in the comments. And if there's any viral products that you'd like me to review, let me know. If you enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe. Come join our skincare community, especially if you love real and honest skincare reviews, because that's what my channel is all about. I love you so much. Thanks for being here with me today. I just want to encourage you to keep shining your light. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.